Hi there, welcome back to The Perspective. I'm with Ahmed Aboutaleb, the Mayor of Rotterdam. We started to speak about the issues of ports in Indonesia, and Rotterdam, as the essentially biggest port in the West, is the ideal place to have a partnership with. So we spoke about a seawall, about water defense. What other issues can Rotterdam help Jakarta with?
With me in the delegation, I have 20 CEOs of big companies in the maritime sector in the city of Rotterdam, but also in the Netherlands, to connect a big hub from Jakarta, for instance, with other islands. You need the philosophy of what we call the short sea connections, and in fact, if you see the port of Rotterdam,
hopping.
Yeah. If like airport philosophy, you see the port of Rotterdam. A huge container vessels are coming, for instance, from China or from Singapore or from Brazil. Then the main port to call is Rotterdam, and then from there, a variety of goods and services are delivered to even to Russia, to Great Britain, back to France, back to Northern Africa, back to Italy. And if you see Indonesia like that, then you need one or more hubs and a short sea connections to be efficient, bringing that kind of products to the other islands. And one of the companies with me in the delegation, Stanberg, is really specialized in organizing this kind of short sea connections. So there will be new talks with the Indonesian government, with this company, but also with other companies, to see whether such a kind of short sea system can be organized in Indonesia.
Well, there's definitely been talk, even among local logistics companies, about talking about building hubs. One end you have Jakarta, then you have Surabaya, then you have Makassar, and elsewhere to unlock eastern Indonesia, which is that big thing. Do you see cooperations between large Dutch companies like Stanberg, just with state-owned port operators?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's...
We see a lot of opportunities, public to public, public to private, private to private. Okay. All that is possible. Luckily, the Indonesian economy makes all this kind of concepts possible. There is not a kind of state-controlled everything in the economy. So there is a state involvement in ports and ports creation. That's evident. I mean, the Netherlands is one of the few countries in the world where the port is owned by a city. The port of Rotterdam is. The city of Rotterdam owns the port for 70% of the shares, so it's more or less our port. But in the whole world, ports are more or less owned by states, so that's evident that there is a state involvement in creation ports and creating the philosophy of the connectivity. But within that domain, there is a lot of space for commercial players to be involved, at least. Because nations do not have enough financial resources to do all of that. It's I think important to open the market, to invite commercial entities to participate. And our port authority of Rotterdam, which is linked to the city, it's a private institute, but it's reporting to the city of Rotterdam, has the tradition that is not only operating a port. That's not the core business anymore nowadays, but around the port to create industrial zones. By creating industrial zones, that's where the working opportunities exist. We have the wonderful example in Sohar in Oman. I have been visiting that spot for a couple of years now. The port of Rotterdam is involved financially in the capital of the port, but also in the management of the port. And the fact that the Port Authority is there is bringing more than 2,000 companies in the portfolio to be interested in creating industry and creating working opportunities. It used to be
ripple effect out.
Yeah, it used to be a desert, really a desert with a couple of nomads. Nowadays, it's an investment of 15 billion euros and thousands of jobs within 10 years' time. So it's true if the president of Indonesia is thinking that the maritime industry will be really one of the pillars of the local economy and creating jobs. It's truth. So we invite our friends here not only to come to Rotterdam to see the tradition of 400 years of maritime history, but just go to Sohar, where it's really very recent, just last 15 years, where now the Omanis are working to create real connections until Saudi Arabia, to be a kind of a hub in the region to bring goods and products to the northern countries in the Gulf area, but also to Saudi Arabia. This is really a new philosophy about working together with big players in the world. Maritime industry, you cannot survive on your alone. You need partners, you need friends to reroute goods and products in the world, like the airlines are doing for a long time.
Yeah. It's a global supply chain now.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to hold again for break, but we'll just keep going. When we come back, stay tuned.